Okay, so I've now completed stage two. What I did here is I just filled in all the areas so that there's no white canvas showing through. Although I did dry brush it on just so that it's easy to make changes. So basically all the light areas that I didn't have covered with my shadow mixture and my dark mixture, I covered those over with a layer of paint. And then once I was done with that, and the way that I approach that is oftentimes painting instructors, people who are writing books about painting and so on, they tell you to start with the darkest dark, the lightest light, and the easiest color. And so I already had some dark mixture on there, so I just went to the lightest light and the easiest color. And actually, that was over here on the side, the yellow, kind of orange yellow that you see reflected back in the water. That seemed like that was the easiest color. And so I went ahead and mixed that, and then some of the purple there into the water, the sky. And I put some of those colors in, and then once I had everything covered for the snow areas and so on, then I went back and I started to modify some of the shadow colors. So I don't know how well you can see that, but especially the trees there in the foreground, I started to put in some color into that shadow mixture. So you don't see too much of a difference, but there is a difference there in the foreground. It is a lot more green than in the background. So I'll continue to modify these, of course, and make some subtle shifts and changes. But I just wanted to kind of start getting the color going a little bit. And the way I look at this is kind of like the rough draft stage. So when you're just drawing in, that's maybe equivalent, if you're talking about writing, to something where you're just putting down ideas and you don't really have that much of an organization. Or maybe you start to outline. So maybe you have, a group of points and different things that you want to say, and it's stated very roughly, and then you've also got sort of an outline. That's maybe like the earlier stage. This would be where you have like your first full draft. And so I want to keep the paint pretty thin so that it's easy to make changes because I will be moving things around. And so you want to try to make sure that, that the paint's fairly thin, so then you can put thicker paint over it and that will keep it from getting really muddy. So there's still a lot of changes that I'll probably make as far as the tops of the trees, and maybe raise a few places up, lower some areas. So there's still some possibilities of changing some things as far as drawing. So I want to keep it pretty, really pretty dry brush at this point. And then in the next stage, I'll be putting on thicker paint and really commit to where I'm going to put everything. So that will be coming up next.